Joe, I'm just curious. I know you said that you've got 19 grocers. What was offered to them? What was offered to them 6,400 square feet? Was it 10,000? Was it we can work with the whole corner, or we want to get you in here? What do you need? Just what exactly was proposed to them?
Initial conversations are along the lines are you interested in the area in general? And
Okay.
we have this site, you know, we have our site plan in a PDF version. This is in general what we're thinking in terms of grocery store layout. We have more detailed interior layouts that show the positioning of the cases and racks and the aisles. So we sent all that information over, looking for a general interest level. And to be honest with you, very few operators came back with an interest level that warranted them having a further discussion with us on this location. And a couple did. And we've had serious discussions with 2 or 3 different potential operators. And we've had different degrees of progress with each operator before it seemed to just kind of conk out in terms of not being able to work out a deal.
Did they have concerns about size, or did it never get that far?
One operator had concerns about size, and we addressed those concerns. That's kind of where the momentum came from to relocate the First Merit Bank and to try to reconfigure the location into a more 10,000 square foot building. And then that's also what led us to investigate the possibility of demolishing partially a 3,000 square foot building and incorporating it into a larger 10,000 square foot footprint. So, does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, your comments just now kind of is a perfect segue to my question.
Okay, good.
In the last meeting, I asked a question about relocating the bank.
Right.
And I was told by Adele Roth that First Merit is not willing to move, and that the teller substation, whatever you want to call it, is the most profitable in the county and the busiest in the county on Fridays.
Yeah.
Was that position or presented to these potential grocers that you mentioned? And assuming that people are there putting checks in on Friday, you know, I can imagine that there's a lot of, everyone has money on Friday to go buy groceries. You know, it kind of seems like a pretty obvious sell to the grocers.
We use everything we possibly can to market the space in a positive light. And these grocery operators, most of them are very sophisticated.
Sure.
And they do their own market studies, and they come in, they can make an assessment on the market, and it's going to fit with their business model. So yeah, we definitely worked with First Merit Bank, and that's our understanding as well, is that is a very profitable branch. And
but it's
motivation to relocate isn't, it's just not there.
Yeah, that aside, the real question is, you know, is there any kind of tracking of how busy it is? Can we validate, is it the busiest in the county? Because you would think it's the busiest in the county, you know, that's probably a pretty key factor if you could present to a grocer.
Let me just clarify. They told me it was the busiest First Merit. I don't think it's like the busiest drive-through.
Well, no, that's fine, but still, there's a lot of First Merits in Southern County.
Either, yeah, but that was their business. They're not even.
I mean, it's definitely a selling point. I mean, definitely.
So that was presented. I mean, of course, that specific fact.
Well, you know, you talk about the different businesses in the area, and I'm sure First Merit's one of the best, one of the better banking branches in Highland Square out of their chain. But you know, then again, that's not going to make up the mind of the grocery operator. You can't go to Giant Eagle or to Whole Foods and say, look, you know, First Merit, they've got a really fantastic bank branch. That's part of the puzzle, but it's a broader analysis that needs to be done in order to project viability over the long term and make an investment. But thanks for the questions.
Sorry, we need to give people a chance to speak. I mean, honestly,
I have some real numbers here that may actually really kind of help the discussion. The values which you talked to, Joe, and I think you kind of underplayed their level of interest. I did an interview with them just prior to when they opened the store in Richmond. And they actually gave me the numbers that they were interested in. And it was around a 9,000 square foot store. They were looking for about $12 per square foot. And your numbers here have $14.50, so there's kind of a difference there, and if we can make up the difference somehow, you know, there's that. The city was involved. He talked to Mr. Bowman, and these are from my notes, I just found them today. And Leah England, they were involved in the negotiations. And Mr. Bowman made a list of things that would have been required, kind of just to help Bob get his store in here. And one of the things that came up, and this is, again, just so we have numbers we're working with here, was that Bob asked for a loan, kind of just a low interest loan. He wasn't asking for a donation or anything like that, of about $350,000. That was the difference between what he could afford to put the store in and you know, and what he needed. At that,
A loan from whom? I'm just curious.
from the city, some type of subsidy of some sort, but it was a loan. And then he said that you told him, and this is a quote from Bob, that he was getting ahead of himself. You took about 5 months to get back to him, and then you came back to him with a number of $22 per square foot. Now, I'm not saying that you're making things up, or Bob is making things up, but those are two different numbers that I mean, it's a number, so it's one of the two have to be true. But in the end, what we're talking about, there was one grocer that had serious, real interest in the things he was asking for, or what he really desired. Now, and there's always negotiations afterwards, of course. Was $12 per square foot, and he needed a loan of about $350,000. So there are some real numbers to work with, and this is, again, I talked to him personally. I looked the man in his face, and he's a great guy. If anyone has a chance to go talk, this is Bob Fowdy, owner of Freshway Market, and he's a wonderful guy, and if anybody has a chance to talk to him, it's worth it.